All right, guys, appreciate all of you tuning in for this super late night Q&A overtime stream. I didn't think I was going to do this tonight, but stuff has changed. Stuff has changed, obviously. So we're going to do some overtime. We're also going to talk during this OT period about the UFL because, yeah, lots happened. A lot has happened. So if you missed the news earlier, and we'll start the OT in like 5 minutes. You missed the news earlier. Apparently, the USFL conference is no more. So Birmingham, Michigan, Houston, Memphis, all gone. All completely gone. They will be relocated to Columbus, Orlando, Louisville, or Lexington, and we think Boise. I've heard some other reports that it might be Oklahoma City or Tulsa, but I've heard reports about those cities, but it looks like Boise is the one. Now, here's what makes this bizarre for me. Trying to process this entire thing. I'm pretty sure all you guys tuning in. Here's what makes this thing bizarre. So, when you have relocation like this, mass relocation, it doesn't make a lot, like, it goes against what the league is trying to do. So, what I mean by that is, are you an attendance league, or are you a TV league? Because if you're, whichever one you are, clearly, this is contradictory. So, if you are a league based on TV markets, Birmingham had the top ratings of any market in the UFL. They were consistently polling the number one ratings in 24 and 25. So there goes that market. Obviously, they're not going to be watching. If you're an attendance league, you just ask the team that literally had the best attendance increase. The only team that increased. The only team that increased year to year. It's one of those things where, what's the point of rooting for a spring football team if you know the league's going to go under, or you know that the team is going to move without warning? What makes this even messier is that the Stallions have a camp tomorrow. The Stallions have a youth camp tomorrow, and literally Skip Holtz was on the radio yesterday and talked about how they're not relocating. Now, in terms of Memphis, in terms of Houston, I completely get it. Was in Houston, was referencing took over the UFL, nothing to promote locally. Yep. They didn't promote anywhere except for Michigan. Except for Michigan, they did not promote. And shocker, there was a year-to-year increase. So, the entire USFL conference is moving. They are getting rid of the branding of the USFL and the XFL. So, they are moving to, we don't know what teams are moving where, but we do know that Birmingham, Memphis, Houston, and Michigan are no more. I've heard reports, I know Larson's going to put out an article tomorrow, or I guess later today if you're on the East Coast. He's going to put out an article going more in depth about how he, about stuff that happened in the last month behind the scenes, because a lot's happened in the last month. Obviously, there have been a lot of layoffs in the UFL. There have been a lot of layoffs in the UFL. But apparently the issue with Michigan was Ford Field kicked him out. And they didn't have any where else to go. Apparently the only stadium that one of them apparently was Michigan, Eastern Michigan, but the gray field in Eastern Michigan was a non-starter for the broadcasters. MCAT member for 11 months, I appreciate you. I will say if they want to put UFL in Kentucky, they should start Louisville since bigger market statewide than Lexington. Yeah, the stadium would look nicer. The stadium would look better. It's a better stadium. Obviously, you got the seat backs if you play at Cardinal Stadium. Or you could play in the USL Stadium. So, Vegas worked their butts off. Considering what they had to work with. So, yeah, give it to a state that doesn't have an NFL team already. But again, the thing is that Michigan was improving year to year. I guess if there's a stadium issue, right, stadium fees, and apparently Eastern Michigan was a non-star for the broadcast. I do have a source that is actually employed by ESPN, good friend of mine. Super, super talented. I worked a ton of broadcasts with him back at High Point, and he's worked in the truck for some of the UFL games pretty much every UFL game. He's worked in the truck for ESPN. He said, as far as I know, we are planned to have another season with them, ... So, the league is going to survive. The league is surviving. This is not a league folding situation. I have a source from within ESPN that says they're staying. The league is not going. Yeah, EMU, it's also, like, far away, relatively speaking. But again, you're called the Michigan Panthers. So you could really play anywhere. You can play anywhere in Michigan. I mean, I'm sure there are other stadiums besides Eastern Michigan. Same with the 5. Appreciate you, man. According to UFL, the new locations are Boise, Columbus, somewhere in Florida, probably Orlando, and Kentucky. Apparently, appreciate you, Sam. Which game do you want me to do? I'll get you in the call for it. Which game do you want? Appreciate you, man. Apparently, Orlando will be the team once the merger happened and Orlando was axed. Or once the league came back, I should say. Apparently, relationships were still pretty strong between the XFL and Orlando. Like, they kept in contact and they were on good terms. They left on good terms. So, Orlando seems most likely to want Yankees. Get you on Yankees. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, master location instead of expansion. Yeah, well, the obvious answer for that is money. You're not going to expand by 2 more teams. You're bleeding money. And clearly, this league was bleeding money. Well, I'm not even sure it's going to be citrus, so probably with the bounce house. Yeah, fact or fiction, UFL viewership numbers take a hit. Fact. Absolutely fact. And this is what makes this all confusing. Is the fact that, why not New Orleans? Yeah, I don't know why you couldn't play it Tulane. Because they were good TV-wise. That's a solid market that was number 2 in the TV ratings. They were number 2 in the TV ratings. Yeah, I know Birmingham, obviously the stadium commission is definitely not the best over their protective stadium. They've had some issues in the past. But what makes this interesting in a lot of ways is, are you trying to save money? Are you trying to increase attendance? Or are you trying to increase ratings? Because no matter what happens here, you're not doing anything. If you are trying to increase your TV ratings, relocating half the league is not the way to do it. Relocating half the league is not the way to do it. Because what's the point of getting invested in a team if they could just move out of nowhere? Like, I know, like, for me, as a fan of an NFL team, as the Jaguars, I know they're not going to just cease to exist out of nowhere. I know that going in. Like, theoretically, they could move someday, but I know they're not just going to cease to exist out of nowhere. Like Michigan. And the league's just going to collapse on itself. No, the XFL teams are going to stay. XFL teams are staying. Top markets for the UFL. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets very interesting. Because the TV markets, the top ones for the UFL, number 1 was Birmingham. So if you're a TV league, you just got rid of your number 1 market. Birmingham had a 1.6 rating and a 5 share. 1.6 rating, literally the only market with a rating above 1.5. Remember some songs? Yeah. But at least there were like rumblies. It wasn't like middle of the night out of nowhere. So if you're a TV league, you just got rid of your number one market. Got rid of your number 1 market. Detroit was your number 7 market. So you just got rid of those 2 cities. And obviously they're not going to be watching anymore. You also, by moving Houston, you now have 1 team in a top 14 market. In terms of size. You have 1 team in a top 14 market. So, right, but there was speculation for a while. Yeah, I'm assuming new team names too. San Antonio ranked tied with Dallas. San Antonio was, they were, what is it, 8th? I think they were 8th. Birmingham, I don't know. I think we're going to find out more tomorrow when James Larson puts out his article. Because Larson was the one that broke it. Apparently, he's going to have an article that comes out. So it's about TV. You went to markets that, like New Orleans, is the top market that doesn't have a team. They have multiple stadiums you can play at. Not going there. You're not going there. Boise's not in the top 15 for TV ratings. Louisville is Oklahoma City's if they go there. Yeah, it's all about attendance. Yeah, but if you say about attendance, If it's about attendance, again, Michigan improved year to year. If you say TV, Birmingham was the number one market. And it's going to take a long time to, well, you're going to have to hire all new staff. You're going to have to pay for the branding, pay for exposure, awareness, or whatnot that the team exists. Well, Utah had the Salt Lake Stallions back in the AAF. It didn't go so well. And also, it's tough to play on Sundays in Utah still. So, and what's also weird is if it's attendance, look, I think Boise could be a very good market, but if you're going to play the season starting at mid-March like you have the past 2 seasons, if you're going to play in mid-March, no one's going to a game in Boise in mid-March where it's freezing. Columbus, same thing. It's going to be pretty cold outdoors. Louisville, probably going to be pretty cold. Could Birmingham be saved for backlash? I don't know. But what's crazy about Birmingham is that Skip Holtz said yesterday the team's not moving. He quashed all those rumors. And he just got lied to. And today, like later today, in about 9 hours' time, Birmingham Stallions are supposed to be holding a football youth camp. So good luck for that. Yeah, Boise State, yeah, they play where Boise State plays, Albertsons. Gray was an issue. Why is the blue an issue? Because the gray's ugly. The gray field's ugly. The blue field looks fine on TV. The gray field looks terrible. The gray field is just not appealing. Playing Lafayette, Louisiana, Cajun field, make them like the Michigan Panthers and brand them to represent a whole state. You could also make bank after playing Saturday baseball games. You could. You could. I don't think they would do that. I think they would probably go for Tulane Stadium. Yeah, they would play at Boise State's field. The Rock really turned to Trump during the 80s USFL. I feel guilty of being a DC Defenders fan. Yeah, DC, I mean, they're safe. DC's safe. Why not Seattle? Want to Breakers back? Seattle wants Sea Dragons back. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, Seattle was not in the top 15 for ratings, but again, they are a top market in the Nielsen. So, in terms of market size. So, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, crazy day, Lim. Crazy day, MKI and Jackson. How's it going, guys? What else conflicts with the Sounders? So, they had to play at weird times when they were back in the XFL in 2020 and 2023. Had to play on some weird days, which were not appealing to the TV markets. I know they had to play on, like, Thursday nights. But it's just one of those weird things where if it's for attendance reasons, it makes no sense. It's contradictory. If it's for TV ratings, it makes no sense because it's contradictory. Like if it's for cost cutting, why move Houston? Yeah, the Renegades I think are going to be way better to Texas Renegades now. They're one of 2 teams in the state. But if it's for cost cutting, you're still going to have the hub model. You're still having the hub. Houston could drive from the hub. So if it's for cost cutting, why the heck would you get rid of Houston? Not saying Houston drew well. Of course they didn't. Not saying that in the slightest bit. But if it's for cost-cutting reasons, why on earth would you not keep Houston? Because you could drive down to the games. And not have to fly. Why would you do that? So nothing about this makes sense. Now you're going to have more teams flying than before from game to game. So that's going to cost money versus a bus ride. You have one team in a top 14 market instead of 3. And you got rid of your number 1 market. And you got rid of the one team that actually increased in attendance. Nothing makes sense with this league. Glad you're new season tickets. I get it. USL stadiums work for UFL? Absolutely. I could see that with Louisville. I definitely see that with Louisville. Yeah, men's pro sports team for the first time since 76. Yep. Now, again, Boise is a rumor. Boise, I've heard some other conflicting reports. There was one reporter who works, who's stationed in Boise that said if they might get pushed back to 27 and 26. There's going to be a team in Oklahoma, whether it's Tulsa or OKC. Yeah, The Rock is not... Well, The Rock barely promoted the league. The Rock is he's just a figure at this point. He doesn't do anything. Yeah, Ford Field didn't want to work with the UFL, but you could still try and find a stadium in Michigan. I know Eastern Michigan was a non-starter because of the field color. Obviously, Ford Field, they don't want to work with you. There's still plenty of other stadiums in Michigan. Half the MAC is in Michigan. Wearing a Vipers shirt? Oh, the irony. Doubt the UFL survives much longer. This is a Hail Mary. This is a Hail Mary. They're going to be around in 26, but this is a Hail Mary attempt. What would be the best 8 cities? Have more Texas teams? Omaha, Nebraska? Yeah, Omaha would be a good fit. Omaha would be a good fit. Central Michigan? Yeah, again, there's plenty of stadiums you could use. Western Michigan, you could do a lot. LNA, half your famous asinine. This league had a chance to last, but most certainly now, forever a Stallions fan. Yep. I feel that. You win 3 titles, you draw over 10,000 fans a game. You had solid branding, and it's all for nothing. It's all for nothing. I think what would have made the most sense. No, he worked for the Vipers. He actually worked for the Vipers. He was legit. He worked for the Vipers. People in Detroit going to drive out to Kalamazoo to watch UFL? I don't know. I honestly don't know. It definitely would decrease, especially with the weather. Because obviously Ford Field has the benefit of being in a dome. Yeah, spring football can't work if the UFL collapses. It would die for a while. It would die for a while. UFL rankings have been intact due to competing against March Madness, NBA, and NHL playoffs. Yeah, we're going to be competing against something regardless. You're going to be competing against something regardless. The Kalamazoo's 5 hours away. But you are the Michigan Panthers, so theoretically you could play anywhere. But it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, God, I'll come to America. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, good. Fox Sports should threaten to get out of the steal the entire conference relocates. Oh, don't think they didn't have a say in this. This league is being driven, I think, by the TV networks. So don't think that Fox was blindsided by this news. Don't think that Fox is blindsided by this. The reason Michigan's moving is because apparently the field is a non-starter in Eastern Michigan. You'd be fired if you lost games like Remember the Titans? Yep. Actually, Triple H and The Rock have a riff with each other in creative. Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me. Yeah, The Rock's just a figurehead at this point. He doesn't promote the league. How's it going, Cujo? Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you tuning in. But UFL and Albuquerque, New United States could work? Absolutely. Albuquerque would be a solid market. But the best state teams, honestly, the thing that the UFL should have done, what they should have done, that would have made a lot of sense, is you stick with the 6 markets you have. You get rid of Memphis, you get rid of Houston, and you move a team to Louisville, you put a team in Columbus. Or New Orleans. I would actually go New Orleans. Catch me with the USFL news. Yeah, long story short, Birmingham, Michigan, Houston, and Memphis are being relocated to Omaha, Orlando. No, not Omaha. Orlando, Columbus, Boise, and Louisville. Or Lexington. Yeah, first time cover relocation. Yep. The high school tour. I did not know that. Yeah, the Rock did nothing with the UFL. Did the AF ever work in Tempe? Not really. The Hotshots didn't get great attendance. The Hotshots, I wasn't there for that. AAF was spring 2019. I was still in college at that point, so I was still in North Carolina, so I never went to any AAF games. I wasn't in Arizona for the Hotshots, but it did not draw great attendance. Yeah, Boise. Yep, Boise. There is some rumor, 90% of the rumors say Boise, 10% say it's going to be either Oklahoma City or Tulsa. Yeah, marketing needs to be better. Yeah, clearly. But then again, I'm not sure if marketing is going to save you anymore. I don't know if marketing saves you. Seeing as... Is marketing really going to save you when the one team that increased in attendance moves? When half your teams just move in the middle of the night out of nowhere? Like, is marketing really going to save you? Because there's still that similar, I don't know if this league's going to survive. Like, I don't know if this league will survive. Like, there's still that stigma with spring football. What's the same with Columbus playing? Either the current Crew Stadium or the old Crew Stadium. Oklahoma City, yeah, it would probably not work at OKC. Let's play like a baseball field and reconfigure it. Probably be Tulsa. Omaha's issue, there are no football stadiums here, same Oklahoma, same Milwaukee. Well, Omaha, you could play at TD Ameritrade. You could play at the ballpark. You'd probably be a scheduling conflict for the second half of the season. Yeah, the Old Crew Stadium. Yeah, no one's there. No one's at the Old Crew Stadium. I'm not sure what condition it's in right now, but the Old Crew Stadium, there's no one. There's no tenant there. Yeah, Virginia Destroyers, they played a very small high school stadium, and then they added temporary bleachers. Yeah, Virginia Beach Sportsplex, 6,000 soccer seat stadium. Yes. And they added like 5,000 seats. Yeah, TD Metro, that's where they played, yeah. But that was in the fall, so you didn't have the College World Series interfering, but just a bizarre situation. Why are these teams relocating? Probably lease issues and attendance issues. And Michigan's probably for a lease issue. Birmingham, couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you off the top of my head. And Creighton plays baseball there too? Yeah, that would be tough then. That'd be tough then. Yeah, so maybe that couldn't work. But at the very least, this is just bizarre. You're getting rid of your only team that increased year-to-year attendance, and you're putting a team in Boise who could support the league. By all means, they could support the league. But they were not one of the top 15 TV markets last year for the UFL, and you're going to be playing the games in brutally cold weather. I will say this, Cujo. I think it's a Hail Mary. Yeah, no, there's really no... Yeah, there's really... If they couldn't get the deal done, there really was, yeah. The Birmingham could keep the baseball team, so move to LA. Yep. Yeah, UFL's in trouble. They're going to last another year. They're going to last another year. That's for sure. Yeah, Birmingham's probably burned out. Oh, they absolutely are. This felt like the one that was going to work. Who made this decision? Probably a combination of a bunch of different people in the office. But the guy that works for ESPN that did UFL games, like in the truck, he's blindsided by this. He's completely blindsided. I have a source. He's blindsided by this. He said, as far as we know, the UFL is going to be around in 26, and we're still going to be doing the games. And I didn't see it coming that this was going to happen. I thought Houston and Memphis were going to move. But that, yeah, UM would never let it happen. No chance. No chance. Doesn't the lacrosse team play there too? Doesn't the lacrosse team play there? The spring football curse. It's self-inflicted wounds. That's the part that sucks. It's all self-inflicted wounds. Because then obviously if you knew that the Michigan lease, I think the grand plan for Michigan was holding out for Detroit's new soccer stadium to get built. But if you were waiting on that, why'd you even put a team there in the first place, knowing that there could be delays for construction and whatnot? Why would you even do that? In order to expand to 10 for the CFL? I get it. Stabilize the 9 they got right now. If they start with a spring schedule, that's a misconception. That's definitely a misconception. The league was bleeding money. They would not have survived with a spring schedule. And was it super to go to the fall? Yes, but that was a Hail Mary attempt. The USFL going to spring to fall was a Hail Mary attempt to try and get some money to keep the league going, because they were not going to survive anymore. Jerry Jones wanted to sell the team now. We'll call it the Cowboys turnaround. As long as he's still there. I mean, he keeps delaying these deals and keeps talking when he shouldn't be and alienating his players. Keeps meddling in certain stuff. I think the Cowboys will be better off when Jones sells. But this move is clearly a Hail Mary attempt. Teacher in Houston. The Roughnecks technically did a Teacher Appreciation Day event, but didn't send anything out to the hundreds of schools in the area. Oh my God. Jeez. That is so easy to do. Literally just send out a flyer. Oh my God. Maybe a situation where Detroit doesn't want the UFL to play at the new stadium, Detroit FC. Well, the new stadium's not built yet. So, I think with the league bleeding money, the likely scenario is that it was one more year of Forfield and that was going to be too much. It's too hard to sell, yep. UFL executives kind of overlooking the most obvious problem, local marketing. Yep, but even now, local marketing is going to be brutal. Because now you have to start from scratch in these cities. You have to start from scratch for a team that is going to be playing in like 7 months. 7 months' time, these teams are going to be on the field. These teams are going to be on the field in like 7 months' time, 8 months' time. So you're already behind the 8 ball. There's a reason why expansion teams usually takes 2 or 3 years and not 8 months when you relocate a team. There's a reason. It takes time for the branding, takes time to get a staff, gets time to know the area, gets time to do all that. And also, there's also the fear of, well, what's to say this league's going to work? What's to say we're not going to move? Because I think a lot of these fans in Boise and Louisville and Columbus are going to see it for what it is, and especially Orlando, where they've been burned by spring football many times. They're going to see this as this league's not stable anymore. They're going to look at it and be like, why should I pay money to support a team in this league, buy the merch, go to the games, watch the games on TV, when all this happened out of nowhere? There's clearly mismanagement going on, and this league could be dead in a year. Like, I'm not going to get invested in a league where I'll put it this way. As much as, look, I'm a Jaguars fan. As much as they suck, I never have to worry that the NFL is going to go under. I never have to worry about that. And now, everyone's worried that this league is going under, and I can't blame them when news like this just comes out of nowhere like that. UFL pay good money to soccer teams playing their stadiums. I don't know if they have the money. I think the problem is that they don't have the money. Otherwise, I think they would have made Michigan work. They would have tried to make Michigan work. USFL put themselves behind the 8 ball from the get-go because they were dead set on putting teams in the same cities, and it was a hub. Yeah, that did not help. That did not help. But I think the other thing, too, is that the XFL was doing well in 2020 and 2023. The merger kind of took the fun out of the XFL. Kind of took the fun out of spring football to some extent. Like I know a lot of people that felt like, oh, something was off after the merger. Something felt off compared to what the XFL was in 23. NFL makes it so in Spring League, like NBA does for G League for development. They don't need a Spring League. They got college football. You know, I'm gonna do something on the UFL for JG9 News. Where the majority of the NFL seems full within the first 5 years. So yeah, but it was also a very different time period. But it's like if let's say Phoenix gets an MLS team, I don't have to worry that MLS is going under. If Arizona gets the Coyotes back or gets another team, I'll buy season tickets. I don't have to worry about the league going under. So I'm just confused why anyone who is thinking about getting invested. Now, if you're already invested, like you're a Battlehawks fan, Defenders fan, you're already invested in the brand and you know you're safe, that's one thing. But why would you get invested in something that could be a sinking ship? The AF1 is semi-surviving. Not very well, though. You can apply for an expansion team. XFL 2020 was doing great pre-COVID. Yeah, I think that was going to survive pre-COVID. They're on their last legs. There's going to be a 26. There will be a 2026. According to my source at ESPN, there is nothing about the league going under. But this is clearly a Hail Mary. We knew someone was up when they started firing everyone, especially when they fired Michigan's staff that was doing well. Yeah, USFL was still, the merger felt like the XFL had to sacrifice stuff. Yeah, I mean, remember the USFL had a crypto page on their website. The USFL literally had a crypto tab on their website at one point. An NFT thing, I should say. NFT thing in 23. Have you signed a little playoff ticket sales in 23? I had to message him someone. So glad we're finally work together. He said, no, right. That's good, at least. Miami thoughts how the problems of the UFL had last season, one of which is mostly present. UFL had games on FX at one point. I think they had one game on FX. Yeah, movie says keep it afloat but not prosper. Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing when you start a league, you have to know the first 5 years are going to be in the red. It's how much are they willing to take before they need to see results. Because a lot of people in startups, you know you're going to be in the red to start off. Nothing is profitable right off the bat. So it's how much can you take? He made himself a sinking ship? Yes, he has. Yes, he did. Yeah, UFL is doing a crazy restructure, clearly. I mean, they fired so many people. They did multiple rounds of layoffs. Like, this is multiple rounds of layoffs we're talking about here that they did before announcing this move. And what's crazy, like I mentioned earlier, Birmingham has something in, 8 hours. In about 8 hours' time, the Stallions are hosting a, youth football camp. CFL goes back to 8 when Ottawa folds for the third time. Oh, my God. Were the Red Blacks really going to fold again? They're literally hosting a youth camp tomorrow. I'm not making this up. There's no way the last out of 3. It's going to take a miracle at this point. It's going to take a miracle. But yeah, this is happening literally later today. If you're on the East Coast or Central Time Zone. This is happening later today. Just to give you an idea of how messy this is. Imagine Warner, Ozzy, UFL. Yeah, this is crazy. Crazy day. They're literally hosting at Legion Field a youth football clinic later today. The team does not exist anymore. That is how messy this is. And Skip Holtz was promised that the league, or that Birmingham is not moving. He quashed those rumors on Monday, but everyone's blindsided. Change my mind, UFL not being in 2027? Oh, I'm not changing my mind at this point. Well, it can't be canceled? I don't know. I don't know. No one knows what's going on right now. And what's crazy is that the UFL put out a statement. The UFL put out a statement, and it is as much of a non-statement as you can possibly imagine. Let me see if I can pull up the statement. So, where was the statement? Hang on. And if you read between the lines, it is It's very clear. I mean, worse than the camp that George Pickens before saying it's not going. Yep. Yeah, it's very messy, Birmingham. It's very messy. So where? Hang on. Let me find the statement. Hang on. Give me a second here. So if you read between the lines, it's bad. Yeah, Wallen's actually won the stream. I did not think they were going to. I did not think they were going to. Okay, let me see if I can find the statement. Hang on, give me a second. Why is Fox River doing? I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. Used to work at, or I work at the UL Lafayette Student Union. One of the staff told me the event coordinator sniffed out the BS from Lee tried around the Blackham Coliseum only to go overhead. Oh, man. Yeah, so here's what a spokesperson said. Goodell's biggest failure is that they don't have an official minor league. Well, they don't need one. Why waste money on one? You literally have college football as your minor league at this point. They don't need a minor league. So here's the statement. The league office is in planning stages for next season and beyond. At this point, we have nothing to report on any unauthorized speculation. So that's not a no. That's not a no. Red Sox loss. They got to go 4-5 in this stretch right now where they're 1-4. They got to go on a run. So the league office in the planning stages for next season. We have nothing to report on any unauthorized speculation. So, again, that's not a no. First off, unauthorized speculation, that's literally speculation. That's like an oxymoron. That's an oxymoron. Have to go into the NFL season in the fall? Yeah, and they would never go for that. That is an oxymoron. The whole speculation is not... Speculation is that's... There's no such thing as authorized speculation. You're not allowed to speculate on anything. You don't have to have permission to speculate. It's the whole point of speculation. Unauthorized speculation is like jumbo shrimp. It's like, it's an oxymoron. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I need to see if I can find something. And they didn't outright deny that these teams aren't moving. They didn't outright deny it. You would think if this wasn't true, they would put out a statement saying, there is no truth to any rumors about any of our teams moving. All 8 teams will be back in 2026. And you go from there. How they call players who are not playing in the fall? Yeah. I mean, NFL Europe had a system like that. You could send your guys over to NFL Europe. But would anyone do that? I don't know. I'd not give you authorization to speculate. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, planning stages for next season beyond. I love they led off with that. They led off with we're in the planning stages for next season, which basically means we're thinking about what's going to happen in 26. And they didn't say excluding relocation. They left that part out. They left out anything about relocation. So you would think an easy statement to make. Easy statement to make. The league office is in the planning stages for next season beyond for our current 8 markets. If you add those 5 words, okay. But this is very clearly not a no. They deny nothing. Was there the plan for next season? I guess the 4 new markets and the rebranding of the Renegades from the Arlington Renegades to the Texas Renegades. It's ridiculous. This is such a bungling on the UFL's part. It is such a bungling in so many ways, how sloppy and how messy this was, how contradictory this was, how out of nowhere this came. It's just so messy in so many ways. And I feel for especially people in Birmingham and Michigan. I really feel for them in particular. NFL expense to 36 with your division. You think there'll be a Pacific division get to 40? I don't know. I think I'm going to go all in on Europe first. What teams play next year? It looks like Orlando, Columbus, somewhere in Kentucky, either Louisville or Lexington, and Boise, although there was a scenario where the league pivots and goes to Oklahoma City or Tulsa. How many pro football teams has Birmingham had in the last 50 years? They've had a lot. WFL, USFL. They had CFL. I think did they have a World League team? They had an XFL team, AAF team, obviously this iteration, the Stallions. Jeez. jeez on that one seed. No, hopefully I'm Battlehawks fan. Oh, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I mean, the ratings went down. 7 of the 8 markets declined in attendance. The one market that did is gone. 4 of the... Yeah, Birmingham Fires. Yeah, so they had AAF, they had WLAF, yep. So you're increasing costs, obviously, by relocating everyone, and by having fewer cities you can drive to from the hub that everyone's staying in. So you're not saving money. You're not going to increase the ratings. You just got rid of your number 1 market, and you'd have 1 market instead of the top 14 in market size. Yeah, they did the Birmingham Fire, yep. And you're not improving attendance because now there's speculation and skepticism around the league, and the 1 market that increased in attendance is now kaput. I love that stat, Jeffrey. I love that stat so much. Yeah, the AF? Yes. Oh, man. Yeah, I was a big fan. I was an Apollos fan. I remember watching Garrett Gilbert and Dearness Johnson and those guys. I remember watching that. And then they had games on Bleacher Report Live. The Apollos got kicked out of their hotel in Florida. They had to do camp in Georgia because they got kicked out of their hotel because they couldn't pay money. The league got sold after 1 week. It was a mess. It was an absolute mess. You know, AF was a dumpster fire. Absolute dumpster fire. I think now we have a lot of skepticism that this is not that this might not work. We've already made it expand past 34 and MLS 32. I could see that, yeah. Well, Liv will be a good mark for MLS too. They draw very good crowds. Or just a minor report too. Paramount Plus did not make the decision. They don't have a stake in the league, but I know that Paramount's doing some weird stuff right now. If WLF reboots with 6 teams, which ones do they bring back? Will it be Europe? It'll be Europe. They wouldn't do America. It'll probably be Amsterdam, London, Barcelona, and then 3 teams in Germany, probably Berlin, Frankfurt Galaxy, and maybe the Hamburg Sea Devils. What was worse, AF versus WFL? Okay, WFL at least finished the season, but they were both bad. WFL was better talent-wise. WFL was better in terms of it lasted a season. It was also super scummy. Teams were folding and relocating middle of the season. They were both pretty bad. Which teams had identical uniforms in 1 game? Ooh. Now, San Antonio wore red and black. Is it the Express? Oh, €3, €3 USA. Okay, if that's the case, Barcelona, London, and Berlin. Berlin Thunder. Actually, Berlin Thunder, Frankfurt Galaxy, London Monarchs. 3 USA teams. Raleigh-Durham Skyhawks. Birmingham Fire and maybe New York, New Jersey. Or no, San Antonio. Yeah. San Antonio, Sacramento, Orlando. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. You want Andrew Catlin and Gary Danielson on the call? Yep. Orlando won around. San Antonio was also playing the same time. That was a crazy hit in that game. Team in Dublin. I could see that happening. I definitely see that happening. Test track officially open today. Let's go, baby. Let's go. 3.0 looks better than 2.0. I'm excited. I am excited. Yeah, one of the WF teams had their uniforms pound for not paying the laundry bill. Yeah, Birmingham won the title and immediately had everything seized. The team in New York moved to Charlotte mid-season. The NFL Europe and NFL games in Europe never coexisted. Yep. Yeah, that is kind of odd, but there was a reason for that. Goodell quashed that. Tagliabue said it was NFL Europe, and Goodell said it was let's just play NFL games in Europe. He moved to Ohio. Yep. All right, on that note, we're going to do some overtime. On that note, we're going to start the OT period. Yeah, Scotch Claiborne's, yeah. They won a title, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so I'm going to put 8 minutes on the clock. See what takes skins to the Q&A and donation. Get your question right away. Any requests, any video, audio, ChatGPT. We'll do all that. We'll still talk UFL and all the news we've been talking about for the last 40 minutes. I will still take any questions because this is just absolutely crazy. We're not even close to done yet. We're just doing a little, going to do some Q&A overtime. If you have any requests, any ChatGPTs, anything like that. Any donation counts when you make the call. It also counts as triple if you don't have a request attached to it. Keep in mind, there is inclement weather projected for Tampa, so there is a chance we might not do White Sox Rays, and that it will be whichever game is the runner-up, because I could see that game getting rained out potentially. So just keep that in mind. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Bigger notes for AF or UFL? Oh, easily AF. UFL's finished multiple seasons. UFL has lasted longer than any other spring league. So it's not even close on that one. Yeah, Rusty Law City and Demolish next month. The new same deal is here. Let's go, baby. About time. They move at a snail's pace in Hawaii with construction and demolition. They move at a snail's pace with that. So I remember, like, they were doing like a flea market auction. I had my old apartment. My old apartment. I moved in here over like more than 2 years ago at this point. So you got any donations, any requests, ChatGPTs, audio, video, you name it. Yeah, leaks for Skylar in the NFL. Yep. Oh yeah. So you see what it takes to get in. Again, if you're just joining us, the breaking news with the UFL. Kurt Warner was... I think it was Emerald. Yeah, I think he was Amsterdam. The breaking news in the UFL. USFL Conference is dead. They're going to scrap the branding. Arlington Renegades are being rebranded as the Texas Renegades, so that's going to also cost some money in terms of rebranding all the merchandise there. So, again, makes no sense. Connor with the $5, appreciate you, man. In honor of Ozzy. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Which game do you want, Connor? Appreciate you, man. When the last use Aloha? That's a good question. I don't remember when they last used Aloha. Neil the Tier, which game do you want? Get you the call for it. UFL thought Birmingham's success to bring up 10-cent market? But apparently not. Apparently not. Big Dawes TV, hey, nice track. Appreciate you, man. Which game do you guys want? Again, there is still a contest for me to call. I know White Sox Rays has a lot right now, but remember, the second... I have not looked at it yet, so I'm excited to see this. Sox Phil's, all right. So we might have a situation where there could be a rain out. So just keep that in mind. And we'll go to the second game. The best lasting legacy? Oh, by far the AFL. By far. Because all their teams survived the merger. All the teams survived the merger. And the AFL took on the big dogs in the NFL. They got players. They won a Super Bowl. It's not even close. Oh, 20 minutes? All right, all good. All good. So I'll do Ozzy first. Mariners, let's go, baby. Let's go. Too bad we can't help you out because the D-backs suck right now. Too bad, because the D-backs absolutely... Torre Lavella was a moron. Alright. Ozzy Osbourne, Wrigley Field. Absolute legend. Your Patriots AFL, yes? Why was the AFL successful? In terms of... They were able to get high-quality talent. Not even remotely... One of the best traditions taken out the ball game ever. Something. He's singing some words. He's singing some words. Yeah, they were innovative. They also went to markets that wanted NFL teams and didn't have. So very good their market selection as well. Like, that helped a ton. I was from Gillette. I've not. The AFL's right place, right time. Yep. There are a lot of markets that the AFL went to that were spurned by the NFL. So it was one of those situations. So that helped. Paul Brown joined the AFL because he guaranteed the Bengals would join the NFL. Yep. Yep. Kelly with the $5, appreciate you, man. I don't know which game you want. Actually, don't know which game you want. What was the only thing of this? Everything. The answer is yes. When Ozzy do Wrigley 2003, he was on everything. All the drugs when he did take me out to the ball game. Saints signed Julian Blackman to a contract right for Matthew Starman. They moved quickly. Which was proactive on their part, which I'm a bit surprised by. All right. And then Mike with the $5, appreciate you, man. I'll put it to a vote. And which game do you want, Keller? I'll get you on the call for that. You want Yankees. All right, get you on the Yanks. Again, I know it seems like a bloodbath right now when you make the call. I know it seems like a bloodbath, but it's really not because, again, Sox Rays could get rained out. It could get rained out. Now, if it's delayed, we do it, but it could get rained out. Ozzy and Lemmy, Hellraiser 30th anniversary. All right, let's hear this. All right. Here we go. I'll see if I can find a story. I want to be able to find one. I'm not sure if I can, but we will see. I might be able to. We'll find out. Man, absolute legend. Ozzy's actual name? I have no idea. I know Ozzy was in a Super Bowl commercial. I know that. Is there anything else I could find with him? I don't know. Kind of for 12 months now, London Black Sabbath would make a good football team name. Yes, it would. Or the War Pigs. Honestly, the War Pigs make a great name. The War Pigs would legit make a phenomenal name for a team. I would love a team named the War Pigs. First name was John? Yeah, I like Ozzy better. I like Ozzy a heck of a lot better. Yeah, I'll see if I can find something on Ozzy. I don't know if I'll be able to. I would love to, though. Yeah, this sounds great. Rename the Commanders War Pigs? I would be down for that. Kind of with Jackson being Ozzy Osbourne, Hannah Montana. Oh, man. I'm always there for some Hannah Montana clips. Man. Yeah, Magic Card, yeah, I was confused by the first one, 112, 211. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. They got the dumbest people to play that game. They got the absolute dumbest people to play that game. Like, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you keep doing that until you find one that matches, and then you go with that. I don't know why you go, like, all out of order like that. 2 cards on chat? No, I think there's only one. There's only one. Sometimes it's weird in terms of the, sometimes the lettering changes. Best Black Sabbath cover? I don't know what covers they had. I don't know what covers they have. I know, like, T-Pain's cover of War Pigs is actually really good. Mine from Hannah Montana songs. Well, now she's allowed to now. So, I'm not sure she's ever going to do it. I'm not sure she's ever going to do it. I'm not even sure she's going to perform live or tour again. Because she doesn't like that. That guitar slide is sick. Oh, best song other bands covered of... Oh, okay. Oh, okay. The T-Pain cover is pretty good. T-Pain cover is pretty good. Why am I stop touring? I mean, you feel very isolated when you tour. You feel very isolated. You're on the road for a while. You definitely feel... Like, also, drugs are rampant on tour. Also, it's tiring. It is very tiring and exhausting. It takes a toll on you. I put a poll up. Mike with it too. I appreciate you, man. Oops. Wrong thing. Yeah, that won't test on the game show that played pretty similar. Yeah, most of the clips I get from Magic Game are dumb. Oh, yeah, the Touchback's going to have a good video on it. I can already tell. Touchback's pretty good. The Touchback's a good channel. So, they'll have some stuff. Not sure if Brody's going to cover anything on it. He didn't do any UFL news, so I'm assuming not. Alright, we're going to put, for Michael, $7 on one of these games that gets the win for voting. Yeah, this is a great version of the song. It's a great version of Hellraiser. I've never heard the 30th anniversary version of it. This works really well. If it's an edit, it's a clean edit. If it's an edit, it is a super clean edit. And tomorrow we will be streaming one of those 3 games. Can I find anything on Ozzy NFL related? I honestly don't know if I can. I'm hoping I can. I'm really hoping I can. Yeah, they had a Bay Area team, yeah. They weren't as dumb as the guy in the recent video. Yep, that is true. They were not. They were not as dumb as the guy in the recent video, who decided it was a good idea to go to a game and do a halftime competition. All right. And then Mike with another tour. Louis, Stranger Than Fishin'. Oh, I like that title. I like that title a lot. All right. All right. Appreciate you, man, as always. Get you on the call. White Sox Rays, a decisive winner. So $9 going to that one. Eliminators both wrote it. Oh, that makes sense then. NFL, a game equivalent of relocations today. A game equivalent? I'd say the Browns losing to the Bears after they led by 14 with 20 seconds left. You're like, wait, that came out of nowhere. All right, Jackson beat Ozzy Osbourne. God. On Palace of Broadback was Betty White. Oh, man. Oh my God, this joke is so much better when you're an adult. Oh my God. I love... And with Gilbert Gottfried? Oh my God, Gilbert Gottfried, Jackson V. I mean, this is incredible. God. We're seeing what was most shocking in the moment. This one was pretty shocking. This one was pretty shocking. Oh, man. That joke hits so much better as an adult versus a kid. Well, you don't know who Ozzy Osbourne is as a kid. That joke hits so much better as an adult. Oh, my God. That was incredible. The other one was shocking. Which one? I think Trent Baalke getting fired 3 hours after Khan said he was safe. And after everything that happened, that threw me for a loop. What other ones were, like, shocking? I don't know which other ones were, like, the most shocking. We're definitely going to have a lot of emergency live streams during the season. I can tell you that much. We definitely are going to have a lot during the season. I know that. Pete Rosa Band. That wasn't an emergency live stream. That was an emergency live stream. So the emergency live streams we've done are... Because that was during a game. So that news broke during a game. I guess this counts as an emergency live stream. What Disney Channel show did Kelly Osbourne lend her voice to? Oh, I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea on that one. Bill Belichick? No, because that was rumored for a while. Push bent unwell. Oh, man. Oh, God, that is tough. For Matchbox 20 songs? Man. Buy push, rent unwell, sell bent. But they're all great. See, emergency live streams we've done. We've done... I mean, the least shocking, the Jaguars losing to the Bears. That wasn't shocking at all. Robert Saleh getting fired. Raiders trading Adams to the Jets. Titans trading Hopkins to the Chiefs. Saints firing Dennis Allen. Vikings getting Daniel Jones. Belichick. Baalke fired. Schottenheimer. And Justin Tucker getting released. So those are the 9 we've done. Would that prompt an emergency? Yes. If I was doing baseball, yes. Yeah, so all the emergency live streams are strictly for football. The emergency ones are strictly for football. But we will have a lot of emergency live stream this season. I can already tell. Emergency live stream for the Jets make the playoffs. All right, thank God it's Monday. Next song on the album. Monday's my favorite time of year. Already off to a good start this song. Callaway to our Crazy Train. Get you on the Yankees. Great song. That is an option at karaoke, too. That is an option at karaoke. It is on the list of songs. And $50 for anyone, and then Paranoid. Oh, okay, yes. Yes. Appreciate you, Keller. Yeah, Eberflus getting fired when made a good live stream, but it happened before the Rares Chiefs game yet. So I think I was asleep for that. A Lil Nicky, what was the band whose record played backwards? Oh, I don't know. I don't know on that one. I don't know on that one. I'm just waiting for Neil to get back, and then if you're wondering when Neil's gonna wait for Al, he said wait 20 minutes. So key change, okay. Not just a key change. The harmonies on this are tight. The backing vocals are addicting on this song. Backing vocals are crazy good. Yeah, it was around the time I posted dumb decisions. Yep. It's happened a few times where I post dumb decision, then 3 hours later he gets fired. Cowboys make playoffs to lose again the wild card. What are the odds that Tree reduces? Congrats, Cowboys vid. Oh, very high. Very high. Trade Lawrence. Oh, that'd be a emergency live stream for sure. That'd be an emergency live stream for sure. 25 will be another season with a near direct connection to the first season ever of the NFL. Carroll coach against Don Shula, coach against Hallis, who coached in 1920, which is crazy. Buy, rent, sell. Gypsy Landslide Dreams. Buy dreams. Sell Gypsy, rent landslide. Chicago had Satan Messenger and play backwards? Really? 4 or 6 to 25, I guess. Is this Everything is Stupid? This is the song of Everything is Stupid. I don't see what you're talking about. What does that even mean? The lyrics of the song are nonsense. Kind of draft capital Trevor Lawrence be worth? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It would be... Depends how he plays. Because obviously the contract. Depends how much the contract the Jags take of it. Depends how he plays. Depends on injury history. Corey getting fired would be emergency stream worthy. No, we don't do baseball emergency live streams. Emergency live streams are just for football. So emergency live streams just for football. Otherwise, I would be doing a live stream pretty much every day at this point. Emergency live stream at least. Oh, good. Let's go to a good place for batteries. I get that feeling. Dable getting fired anytime during the season. Yeah, so basically, any coach that gets fired mid-season, emergency live stream. Yeah, Tuskie's very forgotten. I love the lead single on that. Tuskie's just such a, like, bizarro song. Such a middle finger of a song. Well, obviously, we do our Black Monday stream as well. But anyone that gets fired mid-season, emergency live stream. So, nothing crazy there. It's a nice guitar solo, too. Favorite one, I think is our self-titled. Or no, wait. Or I think I'm Paranoid. Paranoid's my favorite. Paranoid's my favorite. It's basically Fleetwood Speak now, yep. Favorite Black Sabbath album was Paranoid. I don't know how we got the clams on this song, but I'll take it. Next up is Louise. Most of my lives, which one's shocking the most? Besides this one, I mean, this came out of nowhere. This one came out of nowhere. Which one's shocking the most? I think Bulky getting fired. Because nothing was trending in that direction. Nothing was trending in that direction for him to get fired. As soon as they announced he was safe, I didn't think it was going to get fired 2 weeks later. How's it going, Peter? Yeah, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Absolute legend. Absolute legend. He loves the 70s Chicago, but despises 80s. I know a lot of people that feel that way. I like both. I like 80s better than 70s. But I think 25 or 64 is their best song. Besides You're the Inspiration, hard to say I'm sorry. So I like both versions, but they're two very different bands. The David Foster Chicago is very different than the 70s Chicago with horns and actual brass and whatnot. You know, I think it's definitely forgotten. Yeah. You're hard like a decade or like a 7-year stretch that are pretty much forgotten about. They had two very different eras. All right, next up, Stranger Than Fishin'. So it's about Chicago. Someone brought it up. Yeah. Prediction on the locations. So they already announced. The rumor is it's going to be Orlando, it's going to be Louisville or Lexington, but probably Louisville, Columbus, and Boise, although it could be Oklahoma City or Tulsa. But it's looking like Boise, Louisville, Columbus, and Orlando. 70s or 80s heart? Oh, definitely 80s. Definitely 80s heart. Definitely. Best Chicago song. You're the Inspiration. What years of Chicago forgotten? Everything from After If You Leave Me Now to Hard to Say I'm Sorry, besides No Tell Lover. Everything in there. That's why they changed their sound, because they were dying. The band was pretty much dead at that point in popularity. The band was dead. On Boise for selfish reasons, I get that. I completely get that. I think you're going to get Boise. It's like a 90% chance. You know, I don't see them folding. Not found the new locations. I get that. I definitely get that. I'm just not a fan of this move in general. Like, it's going to hurt the ratings. It's going to hurt the attendance. It's not going to save them money. At all. Next up, Crazy Train. So mid-80s? No. Late 70s, early 80s. All right. Here we go. Such a good song. It is an option of karaoke. It is a karaoke option. It is on the list. One of the greatest intros in the history of music. Absolutely infectious intro. It's one of those where you know in the first second what song it is. Man. In addition, safe parts were selling go out in July noon. How long do you think it would take to heat up to 100 degrees? Oh, not long at all. Not long at all. Not long in the slightest bit. You have praise for this for you, Ozzy. Yep. Absolutely. The Blues Rock Fleetwood Mac over Buckingham Nicks. Oh, that's a hot take. That's a hot take. That is a very hot take. It's like people that prefer, like, 60s Bee Gees over disco Bee Gees. That's a hot take. Such a good song. Go to bed. All good, David. Appreciate tuning in. You see who takes skin to the queue? Any audio, video, ChatGPT? Yeah, absolute legend of rock and roll. It's a revolutionary. He is a pioneer. And he gave us so many good memories. Yeah, but now we're Buckingham Nicks. I've never heard of him like that. How it's basically how it takes long for someone to cool down from 70 to 50 when it's 50 outside, but when it's 90, it's quick for someone to heat up. Yep. It's weird when you think about it like that. Slightly better than Power Mania? Wow, that is a hot take. Yeah, that guy's take is bold. Favorite debut album? Belladonna? Ooh. This is a good album. Favorite debut? I mean, Do Whippets and Hooligans is a great debut. If we're counting Silk Sonic, I mean, that debut. Ooh, rank the top picks for that? Oh, man. Creed Humphrey's number 1, I think. Clark is 2. Probably put Reed at 3. Kinlaw, McKinley. It's probably the top 5. Yeah, we should keep Clark. Yeah, he was good. He was good. All right, Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Great song. Couldn't sleep tonight. I noticed you were streaming your meme. Mouse props. Appreciate you. Yeah, I figured with the UFL news, and we didn't get a chance to overtime after the game that we did with Marlins Padres, so I figured why not? Let's do it tonight. If he is a favorite Fleetwood Mac member and she was the man from Start, best songs from Nixon Bunningham. Absolutely. Slang is a cult following? I would think it's got a cult following. But not over the big 3. Such a great song. It sounds so good, too. For 1970, you wouldn't expect it to be this polished. With the O's no longer active, should the Jets relinquish their rights to the Thrashers and acquire the history of the old Jets? Yes, I think they should. Yeah, and Rich Hill played for the Royals tonight. Didn't work. Didn't work out, but, didn't work out. They lost the game, but 14 teams, half the league about. Crazy. All good, RFK. All good. Again, clock's at 0 now, so $5 more gets you in regardless. $5 more gets you in the queue at this point. I feel like cities and towns should build giant dehumidifiers to aid in water supply and run them at night this time of year to help cool the air down a little bit at night. I wonder if that would work. Let's talk Colbert firing. Yeah, I mean, it was losing money. Late night's a dying medium. I get it. I definitely get it. If you're going to retire the brand, I get it. It was number 1 in the ratings, but again, it was bleeding money. Yeah, Insomnia sucks, yes. Neil from Def Leppard actually ranks at 3 behind the big 2. Wow. Paul Rudd's a real fan, yeah. Paul Rudd, Heidi Garner, they're real fans. Heidi Garner, real fan. Paul Rudd, a real fan. Yeah, if you have an Okoye jersey, you're legit. Yeah. People say that before Country Taylor one day over Pop Taylor would be a bold opinion. No, not at all. Not at all. That will not be a bold opinion. That will not be an hot take. So the lineup makes no sense when Colbert would have accepted pay cut, I'm sure. Yeah. Although with the merger right now, I mean, everything is up in limbo. They can do whatever once that is canceled. Well, not it. I mean, they could be axed his show earlier, and they could. There might be something in the contract where he has to pay the fine if the FC gets on him. There probably is something in there where he has to pay the fine. And obviously, there are censors. It's not a live show. What UFL teams relocated? The entire USFL conference: Birmingham, Memphis, Houston, Michigan. Yeah, one of the original Big 3 dropping out. Yep, it's Kimmel and Fallon at this point. All right, Big Dogs TV. Hey, nice rack. All right, here we go. Oh, this is a good prank. It's a harmless prank. That is a harmless prank. Okay. Oh, that's funny. That is really funny. Yeah, Cruel Summer was innocent. Yeah, they're gonna be very confused by that. Like, wait, it took her 5 years to release as a single? Like, what? Oh, man. Seriously, should hire someone named Jimmy to replace Colbert? No. Jack's a famous celebrity fan. Yeah, the guy who, Asher Goodman. The guy on Ghosts. Cover Mouth Labs? I don't know. No, I don't think so. UFL news, yeah, the 4 USFL teams are moving. Birmingham, Michigan, Memphis, Houston, gone. In their place, Boise, Orlando, Columbus, and Louisville. We'll go to RFK. Yeah, Kim LaCour retire. I can see that. Best friend died cancer 2 years ago. When I heard Ozzy died, I couldn't help to think what Alex would think. Ozzy was his favorite wrestler of all time. Oh, man. Man. 2% whole milk. That's great. Last one, because of the history of that brand. Yep. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is my kind of prank. It's like, no one's harmed. So I don't know what time it is. Rich Jackson show moving to ESPN. I'm not surprised. Not surprised by it at all. NBC made the right decision to hire Lemon instead of Leno. CBS may never have had a late night. No, they would not have. Fallon seems like only really connects to the era of TikTok. Yeah. Although Fallon's got the lowest ratings of the 3. But he goes the most viral. Fallon's clips go the most viral. I wasn't a fan of Colbert. I was not a fan. I think Colbert Report was better. Colbert Report was better. And he wasn't the band was the worst of the the side character was the worst of the 3. I think he tried to play both, he tried to have his kick he needed to. I was not crazy about Colbert. Yeah, Lorne Michaels Bell's out, yeah. And they asked for permission to do, this is a good prank. This is a great prank. Doesn't harm anyone. That's great. JG9, I didn't know that. Didn't know about JG9. All right, I'm going to read your email on the air. And I haven't clicked on that. Yeah, Disappointed Late Show. Yeah, and the live episodes were terrible. The live episodes of Colbert, when they did that after the Super Bowl and whatnot, were terrible. They were so poorly planned. Yeah, Fox turned a counter, SL and Matt TV. Yeah, it wasn't consistent, but it had moments right. Italian Math Challenge. Okay. I'm very scared. I'm reading this for the first time. An Italian workman wants a job. Okay, wait, hang on. But time out. I gotta get a glass of water. Hang on, give me a second. Hang on. Ooh, that's a bad reflex. Hang on. All right. You had a bad reflex, sir. What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball? I'm at the ball. Maybe about Colbert live shirts. What time? Maybe at some point. Yeah, maybe at some point. Like a lead out program, video. Could do that at some point. Introduction to podcasts. Yeah, podcasts are huge because you have to remember, late night came at a time when that was the main way that celebrities promoted their stuff. Now they promote on podcasts. It was also a way to recap the news, and now you don't really have that because you can just get the news anytime on social media and up to the minute stuff. So, and people are coming up with way better jokes than what the rarest rumor is. Okay. All right, Italian Math Challenge. Okay, I'm very scared for what this is going to be. Yeah, the only reason I put on late night for the past few years on music acts, yeah, maybe the monologue, depending on what the topic was, but yeah. Worst argument for any older era of a league being better than the current era TV ratings used to put up, yet don't be as highly rated. Exactly. Compare with a YouTuber podcasting after a show ends in May. I could see it. An Italian workman wants a job, but the foreman won't hire him until he passes a little math test. Here's your first question, the foreman said. Without using numbers, represent the number 9. Without the numbers, the Italian says, that's easy, and he proceeds to draw 3 trees. What's this? The boss asked. Have you got no brain? 3 and 3 and 3 make a 9, said the Italian. Fair enough, says the boss. Here's your second challenge, or question. Use the same rules, but this time the number is 99. The Italian stares into space for a while, then picks up the picture that he has just drawn and makes a smudge on each tree. There you go. The boss scratches his head and says, how on earth do you get that to represent 99? Each of the 3 is dirty now, so 33 and 33 and 33, that's a 99. The boss is getting worried that he's going to have to actually hire this Italian, so he says, all right, last question. Same rules again. We'll go back to play this character. I don't think so. Yeah, European League has about 1 month left. Yes, it does. Same rules, but represent the number 100. The Italian stares into space some more, then he picks up his picture again and makes a little mark at the base of each tree and said, there you go, 100. The boss looks at him. You must be nuts if you think that represents 100. The Italian leans forward and points to the marks at the base of each tree and says, a little dog came along and take a dump by each tree. So now you got a 33 and a third, 33 and a third, 33 and a third, that'll make a 100. So it was starts. Gosh. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. Oh, God, that's incredible. That was good. That was good. Whew. Remember when Conan ripped NBC after Leto came back and spent the last month on the air ripping the network? Oh, yeah, Colbert's going to do the same thing. And Colbert's got 10 months to do it, too. He's got 10 months to do it. He's got 10 months to do whatever he wants. Now, there are censors, obviously, but I feel like Colbert tried to have it both ways, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I just was not a fan of his show on late night. I was not a fan of his Colbert was good, but this was not. A church bass player discovered Ozzy Osbourne for you. That's awesome. That is awesome. Wow. Everyone found out about Ozzy in different ways. I think I found out in Madden. I think when he was in Madden, I found out for the first time. All right. Next up in the queue, we have one ChatGPT for now. Again, $5 more gets to it at this point. We're going to have the Whiny 5 go on a river cruise in Idaho. Here we go. Captain Jerry is going to be our captain on this cruise. Today's going to be a good... This boat doesn't have a bouncy castle? Unacceptable. Little Princess screaming. This stupid boat smells like water. I hate it. Lobo Bear. Welcome to our Church Colbert Report and Late Show. Well, I think one of the things that I noticed right away, the rapport with the band. I mean, having the band did not work at all. Talented guys, but always felt awkward every time they were featured. Always felt awkward. It didn't feel seamless like Jimmy Fallon with the Roots. Jimmy Kimmel doesn't really have a band, but Guillermo's a side character. Higgins is a side character for Fallon. It's not really like Colbert. Every time he tried to riff off the leader of the band, it didn't work. Just didn't work. You Michigan Birmingham are they insane? Yeah, it's one of those where there had to be a lease issue. We're gonna know more tomorrow, I think. Once James Larson puts out his article, we're gonna know a bit more, but it's not looking pretty right now for the UFL. It's not looking pretty. I don't know what they're thinking. Has to be some sort of lease issue. Has to be some behind the scenes that we didn't know about. Because otherwise, this is very strange on the surface. It's a very strange move on the surface. So that also didn't help. Also, Colbert just got a bit angrier on his show versus Colbert Report. Like at the end of the day, it was. I don't know. I don't want to feel like guilty watching a show, if that makes sense. Like at the end of the night, I just want to have fun. Just want to have fun and laugh a little, listen to some music, and hear from people. And I just felt like Colbert was kind of preaching compared to what Kimmel and Fallon were doing. It's very preachy compared to what he was on Colbert Report. Yeah, also that too. That too. Late Show, he was just himself, and I don't know, it just wasn't the most likable, wasn't the most likable person. It was the most likable, person, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like some of the stuff he did were just, like, kind of childish. He's trying to talk it as, like, a serious issue and talk about certain things, but he would come across very childish in his delivery at times. If that makes sense. Like, it's a fine line. It's a fine line. Oliver does it very well. Jon Stewart does it very well. Seth Meyers does it very well. Deposition's pretty football history. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Unless there's something we don't know about. This is pretty bad. This is pretty bad right now. I'm hoping. I'm crossing my fingers that we get more clarity on this. Because this came out of nowhere. Especially because, remember, the Stallions have a football camp in, like, 6 hours at Legion Field. They have a youth football clinic. And the team is kaput. So, who knows what happens now? I have no clue. But this threw everyone this was a blindside. This is a complete and utter blindside. So, I don't know what's going to happen at this point going forward with the UFL, but fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, because it's on its last legs at this point. This is a Hail Mary attempt for the UFL. It's a Hail Mary attempt. And meanwhile, Little Prince is upset because there's no bounce cast, so Little Brown Bear hates the boat because it smells like water. Yeah, sure, once I get Stallions better. See, I think Stallions, there had to be a same issue, because if it's for TV reasons, the Stallions were in the #1 market. Birmingham will have the top ratings. Have literally the top ratings in the UFL. And then Michigan, it had to be a stadium issue, because they were the only team that increased year to year. Had to be a lease issue with the stadium. And that's my guess of what it was. But I have a source inside ESPN who worked all the UFL games in their truck, in their remote studio in Bristol. And, yeah, he said he was blindsided by this. At least Colbert on the show wasn't terrible. James Scored host the late night show. You're not wrong there. You're not wrong there. I did like some of the things. I will say, as bad as James Corden was on his late night show, Carpool Karaoke is still great, and he did give us what I think is the funniest segment in the history of late night. Any late night show. James Corden, if you never saw the thing with David Beckham, David Beckham was getting a statue unveiled outside the Galaxy Stadium, StubHub Center at the time, if I'm not mistaken. And he basically pranked David Beckham into thinking that the statue was real. Like the statue was actually going to happen. The statue was going to happen. But he hired a whole team to, like, prank him and unveil a statue that clearly looked terrible. And the highlight video was terrible of him, and everyone treated him like crap. It was so funny. Yeah, at least I did sandwich it. Yeah, did give us that. You Orlando, I don't know. They've been burned by spring football too many times. There's a lot of competition. Louisville, I'm fine with Louisville. Good TV market. Columbus, totally get. Boise, it's going to be cold for half the season. And they were not in the top 15 for TV market for UFL last season. So, I don't know. But also record, if you haven't seen his David Beckham prank, that is an all-timer. That is an all-timer. XFL final one out. There you go. The XFL, everyone survived. Everyone survived. The XFL did survive at the end of the day. So hopefully they can be a little bit more like the XFL now. Hopefully they can be a little bit more like what they were in 2020 and 2023. More fun. So Craig Ferguson, I was a bit too young for Craig Ferguson. Because he was on super late at night, and I was like not staying up at that time for Craig Ferguson. I heard it was good, but I was very young. I was way too young for that. But I heard it was very good. Like, no one's got a bad thing to say about Ferguson, but I never saw a show. I've never seen a show. A bit before, not before my time, but I remember Craig Ferguson hosting. I remember seeing the ads for that. Well, I rate the UFL decisions on team relocation out of 10. Well, Columbus makes a lot of sense. Louisville makes a ton of sense. I'd say Louisville a 10, Columbus a 9, Boise a 3, and Orlando a 4. I think if you just move Memphis and Houston to to Louisville and Columbus, I think this would have been no issue whatsoever. Meanwhile, back in the river cruise, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I need to pee. No, I don't. Wait, yes, I do. It's okay. He was indecisive about going to the bathroom. DW is now storming on the bone, like, why are there other kids here? I was told I'd be the star of the cruise. Let the carnage begin, darling, says Peppa Pig. And Little Princess pulls the horn lever. So Little Princess is now inside the captain's corners. Pulls the lever. Wrong lever, Kronk. And now we are in the dining room of the river cruise. Is it going to expand soon? No. They don't have the money right now. They don't have the money. Bring back Colbert Report? Probably not. I don't think... Because you have to remember, too, there's no chance. So the problem with Colbert Report is that was Comedy Central, which is owned by Paramount. CBS is also owned by Paramount. So there is no chance. That would make no sense. Hey, we're going to cancel your show, but we want to still have you do a show. But on a network that doesn't get as high ratings. That would make no sense. Like, they're owned by the same company. I think Colbert Report, probably the branding is owned by Comedy Central anyways, so I don't think he could... He might be able to do his own thing on, like, YouTube or whatnot, or with another network, but he can't probably call Colbert Report. Ozzy, biggest icon heavy metal history? Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Whether you like heavy metal or don't, you know who Ozzy Osbourne is. I think that makes him the biggest icon, when even if you're not... I think Ozzy's one of those guys where even if you never heard of an Ozzy Osbourne song, you know who he is. Even if you've never heard of a song by Black Sabbath. Like, I could ask my sister, name me one Black Sabbath song. She probably wouldn't be able to tell me one. Ozzy probably wouldn't be able to tell me one. If I said Crazy Train, she'd be like, oh, yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah, how great is that? Yep, absolutely. Will Paramount fire him soon? No, because he's only there once a week. Stewart's only there once a week, so it's not like he's hosting the show full time. The other thing, too, is that having that show on Comedy Central helps drive up cable prices, because they can now get more money for cable, because it's like, oh, don't get rid of this channel. It's got The Daily Show. Hemel Rushmore? Oh, I don't know on that. I don't know. Renegades are also rebranded. Yes, and that's going to cost money, too. So you're going to have to spend money in 5 of your 8 markets now that you didn't have to spend money in before. Or more money, I should say. Hemel Mount Rushmore? Ooh. I don't know on that. I don't know. Ozzy's the clear winner, and then you got like 10 different options. I have no clue. Yeah, Stewart's contract is only until the end of the year. Yeah, I don't know if he still wants to do it. I don't know, because he only wanted to do it until the election, and then Trump won, and I'm not sure he's going to have the energy or the stamina at this point to do it anymore. I don't know. So he's got plenty of money. Like, you can definitely tell there's certain weeks he doesn't want to, like, talk about what's happening in the news. Time to remember the AAF. Oh, that was even a bigger train wreck in terms of finances. The AAF folded after half a season. The Apollos got kicked out of their hotel room. They had to practice in Georgia. So his real name is Leibowitz. Did not know that. I did not know that. All right, so inside the dining room, the waiter is confronting the kids. So today's menu features fruit salad. I said no bananas on the table. Bananas are evil. This Caillou now destroys the table. Lemon Bear throws a fork at the wall. If there's no chocolate fountain, I'm burning the place down. Little Princess dumps ketchup on the chandelier. I don't know how she reaches this chandelier, but I want dessert first, then dessert again, then dessert's dessert. ZW launches butter across the dining room. You call this food? This belongs in a toilet museum. Peppa sips orange juice. I brought my own snacks from Daddy Pid's secret stash. She takes out a full roast turkey from her purse. I don't know how she got a turkey in her purse, but all 5 are now screaming while an accordion player is playing music, and his accordion goes out of tune and gets destroyed because they throw mashed potatoes at him. So, meanwhile, the captain's trying to command the ship. I don't know who I'd put on there. He could, but he's not even on he's not even on TV anymore. Tucker's not even on TV anymore. Like, who do you go after? Jesse Waters? Maybe Jesse Waters at this point? Like, if you're gonna go after, you're gonna mock it after, like, Bill O'Reilly on Fox News, I think Jesse Waters is probably the most prominent person on Fox News. Ozzy Alfred Dio, Lemmy Dickinson. Yeah, that... Who are you taking off is the question. I know who you're taking off. Maybe Halford, but I don't know who you're taking off. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill. The boat is under siege by preschoolers. God help us all. Little Princess storms into the captain's quarters. Wears the captain's hat. Turn this boat to Candy Island or I'll throw the compass overboard. Ace of base. You don't even know what a compass does, Little Princess. Give it to me. I've seen Wildcrats. Caillou is now swinging from the mast. Great balance. I'm the king of the boat. I'm the captain. Everyone do all I say or I'll cry till the ocean dries up. So we'll be crying for a long time. Lauren Bear, light sparklers. I don't know how we got sparklers on the boat, but let's do science. Fire science. Now the boat's on fire. Peppa Pig is now on the megaphone. The boat is ours. If you resist, we'll cover every surface in glitter glue. That never comes off. So the boat's on fire at this point. The dining room's destroyed. I said no rules, no walls. Walls are oppression. How are walls oppression? For like building, like obviously like Berlin Wall, but I'm talking like actual walls to a room. Like this wall behind me is oppression. Like what? What? You know, Caillou is covered in a bunch of substances at this point. I'm sticky and I hate it and it's all your fault, even though I put it on myself. Lone Bear is now banging pots and pans together. Mayhem, mayhem. Meanwhile, the boat's still on fire because of the sparklers. DW holds a plush rabbit hostage. I don't know why she brought a plush rabbit on board, but give me control of the PA system. Bun Bun gets it. Peppa is now in the intercom playing the role of the DJ. She's singing, this is a song that never ends. While the boat's on fire, while every room's getting destroyed. And now the boat's about to go down. Captain Jerry is wearing a life preserver as a hat. We've lost the helm. The children are staring with a popsicle stick in the juice box. Little Princess, on a throne of pool noodles, declares herself the queen of everything forever. Caillou wants to see the world burn. Crash it! Crash it! Crash it! And DW is pressing buttons. I'm activating turbo speed. She does not know how to drive the boat. She does not know how to drive the boat. Peppa's in the hot tub just watching everything unfold. So, I feel like we need to do something while we do this chat GPT. I feel like we need to do a little bit something while I read this thing off. Why Ace Base fall off a cliff after like huge songs? Oh, very different time period. They didn't really fall off a cliff, but very different time period. Late 90s was a lot of bubblegum pop. It's a lot of bubblegum pop. Oh yeah, absolutely. You're not wrong on that one, Banjo. You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that one. That's why I say Colbert kind of had it both ways. Oh yeah, Hanny's on Fox News. I forgot about that. That's why I say he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. Like you can't be doing all that and then like the day he gets elected. Like you played a part in that too. You played a part in that. And then you refuse to say his name. It's like really, like we're doing that. Like I can't take it seriously. Refuse to say the guy's name. Colbert goes on like he could do that. Yes. 3 songs. Let's see. Don't Turn Around, The Sign, All That She Wants. I mean, Beautiful Life was pretty big. Cruel Summer cover was pretty big. I'd say 5 huge songs. I'd say 5. Well, again, the boat is going under. The boat is now sideways. A duck is steering the boat now. Emergency cruise. Wait. Fallon Kimmel? Kimmel a little bit. Fallon, not really. So the boat is sideways. A duck is steering the boat now. Emergency cruise and helicopters drop teddy bears as a distraction. And a news reporter is shaking at the news and at the wreckage. Again, the boat is under. And the news reporter says that authorities say they've never seen anything like it. Survivors only speak in high-pitched sobs. The children offer their own country just to get away. And the boat has been officially destroyed. The river cruise, chaos. All because of the sparklers. The boat was already destroyed before that. The fire just added to it. And that is what happens when you let the Brat Pack go on a river cruise. That's Sean Connery's favorite song. He loves a song about the seamen. Christian, I know of Colbert. I don't really follow Newsmax. I don't really follow Newsmax. I think like 75% political commentary right now is pretty cringy on both sides. I think on both sides it's pretty cringy. Like, I think the thing with Colbert that kind of rubbed me the wrong way is that you can't create an animated Trump character, like literally a cartoon animated character, and have that be the star of your show, and then be upset when he wins and act like, you know, yeah, never watched that. I never watched that. And act like you didn't have a role in this. You know, I got to thee, that's what they were playing a satanic song. I've never heard of that song, so just one of those things, Colbert. He wanted to have his cake and eat it too. It's like, you can't not say his name after he gets elected, but then have an animated character that literally is Trump. And it's like, what? Like, you can't do that. It's like, at least Kimmel's consistent. And at least Fallon knows his lane, and just, as cringy as he can be sometimes, he just stays out. Colbert tried to have his cake and eat it too. Then again, he did the highest ratings of the three. So, then again, it was bleeding money. Oh yeah, brought everyone ratings. The first year of the show was a disaster. The first year of the show, you're president, yeah. Like, the first year of the show was a disaster. I mean, it was performing well below expectations. It only jumped to #1 after the election. Like, the first year of the show, you look at the ratings, like 2015 when it started. It was under expectations. Like, Kimmel, or Fallon was still very clearly #1. Was someone doing it? I don't know. Honestly, I don't think so. Honestly, the show was tanking in the ratings. Who's the highest? Right now, it's Colbert. Right now, it's actually Colbert. He averages about 2.5 million per episode. But 2015, he was 2015, he was a distant second. Distant second. Oh, of all time, it's Johnny Carson. That's not even close. Of all time, it's Johnny. Right now, it's Colbert. Leno, how many was he drawing at his peak? Oh, late night TV ratings, 1994. I actually don't know. It's more boomer. Yes, it is. Well, CBS is more boomer as it is. CBS is more boomer. What were the ratings? Oh, man. I wish there was an easy way to find it. You know, go for it. Go for it, Fortnite. Go for it. It's like 3 a.m. on the East Coast, too. Yeah, Leonard was killing Letterman with a Hugh Grant. Yes. Yeah, that helped. What were the ratings for The Tonight Show in 1994? Let's see. Leno was #2. Leno was 2, but Letterman was clearly #1. A whole ratings point separated Letterman with Leno. Leno was 2, but Letterman was clearly #1. In the mid-90s, Letterman was the top. Kimmel straight up Gen X, Fallon's, Millennials, and Zeros. Yes. Yes, he does. I miss Leno. I mean, Leno was like hit or miss. Leno rubbed me the wrong way with the whole Conan thing. The whole Conan thing rubbed me the wrong way, but he definitely had his moments. I think of the three right now, I enjoy Kimmel the most. No, I've got an article from Los Angeles Times. Leno was closing the gap, but 94, Letterman was atop. Letterman was on top in 94. Maybe in the late 90s it was a little bit different. Maybe in the... Yeah, there's got to be a... There's got to be a source. My mom 10-1, Johnny Carson last shoots a 9-2. Oh, wow. I think my favorite Tonight Show moment of all time has got to be when the piano player injured his finger, so they didn't have a pianist, so they had to pull someone out from the crowd, and he was in a Nike shirt, and he played Memory from Cats, and it was incredible. That was amazing. Hang on. Let me check. Let me check newspapers.com. Let me check. Okay, yeah, so... Okay, you are right, yes. For 8 years, from about 96 to 03, Leno won. Yes. No, that wasn't staged. That was not staged. There's no way that was staged. The guy spoke about it, too. He said he was in the show, like he was with his brother going to the show. If it was staged, he wouldn't be wearing a Nike shirt and flip-flops. Also, there was a second person there, too. So there were two pianists. One played, like, Jingle Bells. And was, like, fine. It wasn't anything special. Like, if you watch the whole clip, there were two pianists. Like, that was not staged. There's no way that was staged. And Eric's wanting to lose in 2020, win 2024, so we could stay relevant 4 years longer. Yeah. I think so. I could definitely see that. Because they know he brings in the rings. They know that. They know that. Yeah, they know the monologues when... Look at the monologues when he's doing something versus when he's not. And the views on YouTube are like night and day. You know, you're right. Yeah, 94, right. 94 was Letterman, but late 90s, early 2000s, it was Leno. It was Leno for that. All right, last call for anything in the queue. Otherwise, we're going to call it here after this late night stream. It's like 3 in the morning. But I appreciate all you guys for tuning in on this super duper late night stream. The game plan, we're going to do Sox Rays. Now, there is a chance the game could get rained out. There is a chance. The weather in Tampa does not look great. If I show you the forecast... Yeah, there are a lot of yeah. Like, if I show you the forecast for what Tampa's going to be like tomorrow, it's not great. Yeah, the headline summary, yeah, that was good. It's not great. So the game starts at 4:45 my time, so 7:45 Eastern. So look at it from here. A lot of rain. A lot of rain. If the game gets... How many games have been affected by rain? I don't know how many exactly. If the game gets delayed, we'll still do it. If it gets postponed, we will do Red Sox Phillies instead, since that is second place. So just keep that in mind. If they call the game early, in terms of I wake up tomorrow and they say, yeah, we're not doing the game, move it to a different day because the weather is pretty bad, or they move the game up and move it up to, like, hey, we're going to play the game at 1 o'clock Eastern time, just to get on out of here. Did that earlier today. If they do that, we will do Red Sox Phillies. Otherwise, we will do White Sox Rays tomorrow and hope the weather holds up. So appreciate all you guys tuning in for this stream. We'll have a new video dropping tomorrow. We're going to talk about Deflategate to some extent. It's not about the Patriots. It's not about the Patriots. It's a very different issue. So we're gonna talk about that for a little bit. So appreciate all you guys tuning in. JG9 signing off. I will see you guys tomorrow. Roofs over speedways. Oh, you can't do that. It'd be a 2-mile roof. It'd be a 2-mile long bubble or roof. It would be impossible. Be pretty much impossible. The structure would not work. There's no way it could sustain itself. So appreciate all you guys tuning in. JG9 signing off. I will see you guys tomorrow for Rays White Sox, and we'll have a new video dropping in about 5 hours time. Take care. See you.